Vision goggles, also called NVGs, are actually image intensifiers. They amplify low light levels to an ambient light, and they convert near infrared into visible light, so human eyes can actually see in the darkness. But when they were first brought in to be used by the U.S. military, did they see more than just in the dark? I'm Floyd Whiting.
I'm Steve Sisson.
I'm Frost.
And I'm Aaron Linden.
And we're your jackalopes. We're four friends who discuss extraterrestrial conspiracy theories, the paranormal, the unusual. And so now we're going to be looking at night vision goggles and the conspiracy theories that actually surround them.
You mean the facts?
Facts. Right.
Yes.
Excuse me. Excuse me. My bad. That soldiers, airmen, individuals within like spec ops and teams like that would have utilized these, were they seeing more than just images of individuals in the field? Were they seeing something otherworldly, like demons, or maybe even transdimensional beings, which is something that we actually talk about on this channel quite a bit, the idea of transdimensional beings. And just real quick sidebar, when Cross sat before Congress and actually brought that up, it was something that didn't surprise me at all.
Right.
Hawking kind of threw this theory out there years ago, and I can't remember, Sisson, did he actually prove it? Did he have really strong evidence for it that
I don't know.
Can remember?
I don't remember either.
The idea that more than one dimension actually exists is nothing new, but to hear that maybe things are coming into our dimension from other dimensions, especially at a congressional level, was certainly new. Mm-hmm. So I don't want...
Like I always say, though, by the time it hits mainstream media,
right,
and they're getting it out to the dunderheaded masses, we'll call it, it's over. It's happening.
Yep.
And that's, I think back when I was a little kid, and they brought out the bomber, the stealth bomber.
Right.
And how, my father sat me in front of the TV that night.
Batwing.
Oh, man. And he was like, look at this. This is an amazing technology. And I sat there and I watched it and I thought, this is cutting edge. This is amazing. And
to us, it was.
Yeah. To military operations, there's rumors that these things had been flying around since right after World War II.
Right.
That when Hitler's people actually figured out, hey, the flying wing does not give a really heavy radar imprint.
Cross-section.
Yeah, cross-section. There you go. That's why we got Frost here. He can correct me on some of these things. But it doesn't give a good cross-section.
Yeah.
And then we found that, and supposedly that's where that entire program kind of was birthed from,
right,
where they said, holy cow, so all we have to do now is X, Y, and Z, and we'll give no cross-section.
Yeah.
So who knows? But when it comes to night vision goggles, I did kind of look up to when we really started developing these things. And believe it or not, these things have been around since World War II.
Long time.
The Third Reich had these things in some of their tanks, which I didn't know. I thought for sure that this was all kind of an American thing that we developed.
Right, like around the 50s or 60s.
I was thinking about 50s or 60s, when televisions really started gaining popularity in the United States, and we kind of started discovering other electronic components and how that could work. And maybe someone accidentally kind of came across this, and then they were just like, hey, military application. We can do this.
Yeah.
But I was wrong. These night vision goggles began as just simple scopes that they had on certain rifles, but they were big from what I understand. I've never actually laid eyes on one. I didn't look up to get a picture. But from what I get, they were so big that a lot of times they were on equipment and not actual, not anything to be packed by man. So
I can see in the dark, but it weighs 100 pounds. I can't go anywhere.
So the scary part of that is when you have it mounted to a piece of like equipment, like a gun, say, or whatever, like a rifle or like a 50 cal. to see what you need to see, you're pointing the gun in that direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, what's over? Oh,
It's
sorry
like when
about
you're
that.
hunting,
Yeah.
don't scope with your scope.
Yeah.
Right. And even now, training has changed. With the advent of body armor, with the advent of various night vision goggles now that go over one eye as opposed to two.
Right.
They do that so that you don't ever lose your night vision, at least in one eye. So if your nod goes down and you're out there on your own, you can still kind of see in the dark a little bit.
You know why? That's why some pirates wore an eye patch. It wasn't because they were missing an eye.
Yeah.
It was to keep their
That one
night
eye
vision
was acclimated to the dark.
Yeah.
Really?
So they could
Through
go,
their
so they could go down the deck
Yep.
The more you know.
and then flip that up. Because I mean, it's
Full of useless knowledge, I'll tell you.
back then they didn't have like portholes full of glass. It was just dark down in the bottom decks. You had a couple kerosene lamps. And,
Talk about terrifying.
oh, absolutely. Now imagine being in the middle of a battle and you're stuck down inside.
and you got
there.
scurvy.
Yeah. And you don't feel good anyway. No one likes going to work when you don't feel good.
Right.
So the U.S. Army's research in the 1950s through the 60s actually shifted to what they called image intensifier tubes, amplifying ambient starlight or moonlight without IR spotlights. Vietnam War actually saw wide deployment of these starlight scopes. Okay, ANPVS-2s, heavy, but they could be mounted on rifles. And they gave a ghostly green image. Now, a lot of people talk about the red night vision with the demon
red
sightings, right? Which is
phosphorus.
why we're here.
Vietnam, right?
One of the most
Vietnam, baby.
infamous claims is that soldiers were actually using experimental red phosphor night vision goggles in Vietnam, seeing winged monsters, gargoyle-like beings, or even demons.
I have a visual for this.
Now, this is an artist's depiction.
No,
before-
this is real. This is from Vietnam.
I mean,
This is
That's not a Huey right there.
yeah.
so one of the accounts was that a gunner on a chopper started screaming and shooting at the same altitude that the chopper was flying at, screaming demons, and he was shooting because this is what he saw through his red phosphorus
Yeah.
was winged creatures coming out of the trees.
Oh my gosh, bats.
Straight at him.
Yeah, you were in
Well,
that
they were-
country.
We're in back country.
Humanoid-looking winged creatures. So this is actual footage that I found.
Amazing that that's been declassified.
Yeah.
It's
Really
yeah.
good quality for back
Staggering.
then.
I wonder if the Pentagon knows about that.
So it's weird though because there's all these different accounts, right, of these kinds of things happening. There was a period, supposedly, but I couldn't find anything hardcore data that said that there were red phosphorus, but
There's so many accounts.
Well, I'm pretty sure the early ones were red.
the early ones were red, and I think it just became that the green was easier for people to utilize than the red were.
Yeah.
But there's no real story.
Yeah, I think
that
red
this
was
happened.
red was less expensive.
I was gonna say, I imagine kind of like one of those situations where two people develop two different routes to get to the same
Right.
junction, right? So, well, we're gonna try this one out first, but maybe it's not cost effective, and so then you go to the other one, which I
Or
imagine
it was like, do you like the red or the green?
But knowing the government, it was like, which one's cheaper?
which
Oh,
one's
the red.
cheaper,
red, yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Yeah, and I think there was also maybe a theory that because it's red, it doesn't interfere with your night vision as much.
Right. And that's
Yeah.
why they use
I mean,
red
that's
light at
natural
night
red
and
light,
stuff.
yeah.
But there's several different accounts of people that said when they were utilizing them, they could see other things.
And this is the red phosphorus.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
I would love to get my hands on some.
So maybe what happened, I mean, there was a lot of like LSD, there was a lot of drugs. It was like, here's your night vision goggles, but take this tab and put it on your tongue and go out into the jungle with your M16.
It only works if you do this.
I want to believe in these stories so much, but that was actually what they likened this to, was that there was a lot of drugs, a lot of sleep deprivation,
A lot of fear.
a lot of fear.
You think about,
You
like,
probably didn't need the night vision goggles at that point to see winged beasts coming.
Well, think about the situation. Like, your adrenaline's going.
Oh, man.
You're in that, your life's on the line kind of thing. High tension
dark.
environment. You're literally doing what pareidolia exists for.
Exactly.
Trying to look for, things lurking in the shadows. I
And
think
let's-
that combination of...
And I'll tell you what, if something moved and I knew that the four of us were here, I'm shooting at it. Because I mean, it's that.
And let's say you're a gunner. You're from Corn, Iowa. Okay, like you're
that a
very
place?
right. You know what I mean, though. Like
Yeah.
you're corn-fed,
You've never seen this before.
all-American kid. You've never seen a bat the size of a convention table.
Right.
You're thrown into this high, tense situation, and maybe you have. It's just been mission after mission after mission. You're worn down, and then somebody walks up to you and says, "Wear these.
Right.
They're amazing. You'll be able to see the enemy in the dark. Change your world."
You're already seeing the Hat Man at night because you're so tired.
Now you're in the chopper.
I don't even want to
You're
talk
flying
about
along, and all of a sudden, you see these massive demons flying through the air. You're going to open fire, not knowing you can now see the jungle bats, the fruit bats. I don't know anything about Vietnam ecosystem, just so people know. So, hey, if
There's
there
some big
are
bats
bats,
over
I
there.
imagine there's some big
Yeah.
bats over there, right? It's jungle type environment. So I imagine the fruit bats over there are huge. And you get down there, you've never seen one of these things. You don't know what you're seeing. So he could have fully believed. I saw demons, man. I saw man-sized demons flying through the air. I'm not questioning the soldier. I'm questioning the conditions that surrounded the situation.
Yeah.
I'm questioning, a humongous bat flying through the air, and they move. I don't know if a bat has a flock or a herd, but they move together, right?
Yeah.
We've
Now I
all
gotta-
seen
now I
those
gotta look.
scenes, right?
I gotta see what it's called.
But imagine
like
seeing
a
that for
horde
the
or
first
something.
time. It'd be
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, man, I'm seeing demons. I'm opening fire. Like, this is what I'm doing. And sure, why not? You just end a bunch of bats thinking that what do they do?
a colony.
A colony.
of bats.
colony.
Well, that's
Okay.
awfully sophisticated.
It
I was
really
expecting
It is
something
pretty
a little-
sophisticated.
Yeah.
So,
Here's the
again,
thing,
I'm not
though.
questioning the soldier.
I'm
He
not questioning
firmly
the
believed
soldier. I'm questioning, can you see different things
Yeah,
with
does,
different things?
does it actually
right?
let you see?
it. Yeah.
To further that point, scientists from China and the University of Massachusetts, easy for me to say, Chan Medical School, created contact lenses for humans infused with specialized nanoparticles thousands of times smaller than a grain of sand. And it lets people see in dark and foggy conditions. The nanoparticles are scattered throughout the soft lens material where they absorb infrared light and convert it into images that the human eye cannot see in the dark or foggy conditions. It manifests into color patterns, blobs of light, potentially helping with tasks like reading invisible ink or detecting hidden features. One weird result. The lenses actually work better when the subject has their eyes closed.
What?
Because near infrared light penetrates the eyelids more effectively than visible light. So they can actually see the ambient light better
Oh, so it filters
through
out.
their closed
Interesting.
eyes.
Yeah, that is interesting.
No, it's freaking creepy.
It filters out all the interference.
So
But you can't close your eyes and I don't want to see that.
no,
Yeah,
but
you're
you
still
can.
seeing
But
everything.
You're going to see it no matter what.
Oh, God.
So it sounds super cool until it's not. 80 to 90% of the participants in these trials that tried out these contact lenses reported seeing dark, shadowy figures, sometimes with glowing eyes, always with long fingers. And a lot of the times, one of the gals reported that one of these things lunged at her, but it passed right through her. So let's go to the video.
Again, actual
Footage.
Yeah, right.
It's
Yeah.
actual
Be
footage.
actual footage.
So
actual
let's say
footage
you're testing.
of what
Okay.
they're saying they saw.
Let's say you're testing these things and that's what you see.
I'd say check, please.
So
And guess what?
Wait, so you can't close your eyes?
No, when
You
they
can't even get
do is
away
cover
from
your
it.
hand.
Yeah.
when they
over your
closed
face.
their eyes, they still saw them.
Oh no!
This one, bleh. This one creeps me out. 'cause
See, that
that's-
looks like the
that's-
Hat Man.
That's my
Yeah.
guy. That's the guy that came to Kranz and I.
Now, okay, for a long
So,
time.
but what would you do? So you're in the dark. Your eyes are open. You're like, oh my god. Oh my god!
Right? Yeah.
I mean, I would be clawing my freaking eyes
Well,
out to
yeah,
get
the
these
thing would be like
contacts
when you
out.
close your eyes and it actually you see it better.
Yes,
That's like the complete opposite of what you're trying to accomplish.
Yes.
There, so
but
And then you freak out.
point being, so you got red phosphorus goggles. I'm seeing demons. We've got these cool new see in the dark contacts. I'm seeing freaking demons. Like, what is actually going on?
well, and a question I have is why did switching to green make the demons go away? What's the difference?
Well, and that's where I
red's
chime in and
evil,
say,
duh.
well,
Yeah.
I just don't feel like there were any. I feel like, look, that I've been in situations where they've given me a piece of this tech, okay, and they're like, "This is amazing stuff. Check it out." And so you're going around. You usually get a class beforehand. You learn how it works. You learn how you can actually apply it in the battlefield, and then you walk around. You play with this thing for a little while. It usually takes a weekend or so to kind of learn it. And before that, I don't know exactly how they issued that stuff early on. Okay, say Vietnam or exactly. They're just like, okay, put it on his face and kick him out of the plane.
Right.
You know what I mean? And best of luck to you, soldier. And so they may have been confusing certain things that we know to be very real as something else. You know, when you throw a nod on and you're out in the middle of nowhere, it would blow your mind what you could see. I can tell if you're smoking a cigarette from
Right.
300 meters away.
Right.
You know, and everything between me and you is going to interfere in that vision somehow. I mean, when I say these things make things bright, it makes them bright. And
See,
this is all tech that's out there for hunters and everybody
Right.
else. This isn't like
But that's
the
one of
top
those
secret
things,
stuff.
though, where you're like, I go into the woods at night and it's dark, right? But I put night vision on my camera or night vision goggles on. You can see things that you wouldn't normally see. You can see
And at
that
night, you're not used
animal-
to seeing those.
Right.
Yeah.
You can see that animal moving through the woods. This is different, though. This is a bunch of people saying, there's black, shadowy figure. Not like, oh, yeah, it's Floyd over there. Like, it's a black, shadowy figure. And in
Right.
some cases, they're like right here. Are they always right there? Are they with us now? Are they interdimensional?
the thing of it
Are we
is
seeing
like-
into some other realm?
If their testimonies are true, there's no way we'd know.
Yeah.
And if the government knew about these things, let's say they are real. Let's just do a thought experiment. They're really there. The government's known about them for years. What would you do as a government? Well, I wouldn't tell you.
No, right.
I
We make them all green.
find a way to filter that out because I want the tech. This is a huge advantage.
Right.
The United States Army owns the
How
night.
can we weaponize the demons?
Yes.
But it's maybe you figured out that, well, we can't. Or maybe you know so much about them that somebody pops in, gives you a briefing and says, you can't.
Yeah.
And so going forward from there, I want to retain that technology for the use of my military forces. But at the same time, I don't want these rumors and these things going around. So you filter them out and you move on. If those beings are there, bear in mind, they've always been there.
Right.
Since the dawn since we crawled out of the puddle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've been with us.
Yep.
On some level, I imagine. It's
Right.
not like they just pop in and they're hanging out. And apparently,
Maybe they do.
they're harmless.
Yeah.
See, this is the crazy part, though, because when that lady said it lunged at her and
Yeah.
it just passed right through her,
Maybe,
I'm like, are they lunging at everyone? And once in a great while, instead of passing
They latch
through, they're
on.
like, oh, we got one.
well, the thing
And
is,
that's where bad people that do bad things come from.
Oh, see, now you're just giving more people an excuse to be bad.
Yeah. Well, I think
demon.
I was wearing night vision goggles.
they
The
only
devil
lunge,
made me do
they
it.
only lunge at you if you recognize their presence. So if you see them, then they go after you. But if you're ignoring them, they ignore you.
But even then,
Interesting.
now,
Like a Dementor.
once you got over the initial fear, let's say that, like I said, let's say it's all real. And once you actually got past the initial fear and the realization that these things are around us all the time, wouldn't you put them on? Walk around,
Well, yeah.
I look to order
watch,
some.
like see what they're doing?
Here's a crazy thing though. So, Hat Man, right? Shadow Man.
Shadow Man.
You've seen one. I've seen one.
I think a lot of people have seen
A lot of people have. Is that these things? Those just we didn't need those visual aids. They're there. They just somehow
You can see them in the dark.
morphed in, and we saw them. They're always there. They're always around. We just happen to see them without aid of visual goggles or
Maybe.
contacts.
That's
That's where I'm like, I don't necessarily doubt that they're around.
So maybe they filter them out by they exist in a certain spectrum where you can see them, and the side effect of filtering them out is it becomes green instead of red. It's a different wavelength.
possibly.
They're like, hey, we're going to put the spirit filter on here. And
Yeah. And the option, and well, we can explain it by saying, well, it increases visibility. It's better, it allows you to
Gen
discern
3,
these things better. Yeah, I mean that's the reason we did it.
And the thing about all this stuff is everything that we're talking about is old technology. I mean, even when I was deployed back in the day, that was 20 years ago, guys. I mean, this is all old stuff that I was playing with, and the stuff that I was playing with.
Was not the high.
It was
tech
not the
stuff.
high stuff. I mean, I was a National Guard kid from Wyoming. They're not going to pull me aside and say, "Here's a super top
Can you
secret
search
piece of
here's all the
equipment."
good
the
You know
new
what I
night
mean?
vision goggles, it should be on YouTube. The new night vision, it keeps things black, but it shadows like people bright orange. If there's a plane in the sky, it's bright orange. Friend and foe filters, navigation filters, more like a video game.
Yeah.
And it details things really, really well. Super fantastic. Real quick, has anybody in chat, or if you're watching this not live after the fact, have you seen the shadow person or,
Yeah, have you
or
seen
the
shadow
Hat Man?
people? I would love to hear it.
Please.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
I mean, and we're
Let's see what
always
we're
kind of
looking at
going
here.
forward with this technology because, like I said, the U.S.
there.
Army owns the night, baby. That's, yeah.
Right here. That's what the newest gen that people are using right now.
They look like those neon guys off of like America's Got Talent.
Yeah, right.
Competitions.
But at the same time,
That's freaky, dude.
I don't know if I would sit there and say that that's better.
Right.
It's harder to recognize what you're looking at instantly.
I think
that would
so.
take some practice.
That would take
now
some
you
practice.
might see demons with this thing, or possible demons.
That is wild.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's higher contrast, but that's not necessarily helpful.
Yeah.
But you see at the top it has your navigation.
Yeah. Very neon-y.
Yeah, and it also has friend and foe built in.
Yeah, so you're basically in a video game.
I mean,
Well, I mean, it's interesting. And yeah, you can, as a soldier, you can get used to anything when you're training with it all the time. You could,
but going back to Vietnam, if you were
That's cool.
the breacher or I forgot the specialist names that would actually like tunnel in or were proficient at breaching things. If you're like, oh, hey, you're going in, put this on and can see everything. You're already panicked. You're already scared. You're already trying to sleep, like you said. And now you're going in with this new thing on your face.
yeah.
That's
and you're
terrifying.
seeing things that you're
Crawling
don't
through a
normally
tunnel
see.
Yeah.
to pop out somewhere, maybe.
And I'll tell you what, there's a reason why modern day soldiers still look up to like the guys in Vietnam, to the guys in World War II. Technology, procedure, SOPs have come a long way since that time. And those guys that were in Vietnam were strung out, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they were pulled thin. They'd seen far more than any one person should ever see in their life. They'd lost how many friends? They were there for years, years.
Yeah.
You know, we learned a lot of lessons from that conflict, and a lot of it had to do with soldier care.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you're not going to have an effective fighting force
Foot
if
rod.
you don't have an effective fighting force. And we learned a lot of lessons from
Not
Vietnam.
only was the fighting hard, just being in that atmosphere in the jungle and the wet was all just
Sometimes it would
complete.
even rain out.
But I mean, now think about that. You've got all that going on, and by the way,
and you're
didn't-
from Middle America.
and you didn't sign up willingly.
And put these red phosphorus things on, and now you're seeing shit everywhere.
Everywhere. And you're a draftee.
Yeah.
You don't want to be there to begin with, but you got the card. You did what you were supposed to do. You went to go serve your country. And so, yeah, I mean, the psychological effects
And
of
LSD
that,
and Mary Jane were all you had at the end of the long day.
to even get a break, you know? So,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that like they were all drugged up, but we know now that there
I've
was a
seen
lot of
Platoon.
drugs. There was a lot of drugs over there.
It happened.
It happened
And-
when-
yeah, it happened. And why wouldn't it?
Yeah,
you know,
right.
you're going to put me through all of that. I've gone through 5 tunnels today, clearing them out. And now you're, you know, going to tell me I can't just hang out for a minute? Come on, get out of here.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, these individuals who we're talking about, heroes, they went through hell. And again, I'm not questioning them. I'm questioning the conditions in which they had to survive. It would throw me off. I'll guarantee it. Hallucinating. You know, we've done 3-day missions where you're up for 72 hours, especially if you're leadership. You know, if you're E5 or above, you're doing your 72-hour clip along. Holy cow. And there was one instance when we were actually in country where I was up for 72 hours.
Get a little
I don't think
punchy.
most people understand what that actually can do to you.
Oh, the shadow goblins is what we call them.
Yes.
They're everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Your eyes do not move like they're supposed to.
Right.
They're jumpy and you're seeing all kinds of different stuff. You're half delusional, you know? And I turned to my driver and I said, "Wake me up when we start moving," because where we were at, we had to stop. And he didn't wake me up for 3 hours. And I mean, I was out. It seemed like just a quick
A second.
eye shut and awake. But man, yeah, it changes who you are as a person for being up that long. And the only way you can really stay up that long and alert with your head on a swivel, energy drinks.
Yeah.
And I'm talking massive amounts of energy drinks.
Which is so good for you.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible for you. And I used to buy
It doesn't make you more awake.
No.
It
Just
just
taking no-dos, crushing
Yeah.
them
it just
You're
kicks
exhausted,
that
but
can
your
down the
heart's
road.
doing this, you know?
Right.
But you're not awake. Your mind is still
Your
turning
body's
to
just more
much.
dull to it.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you know, some of these guys were awake for even longer than that in Vietnam, trying to stay alive, just
Right.
trying to be
So you're probably going to see
You're in a
things.
state of panic.
at all times.
Pure
you know,
terror.
and imagine doing that for over years. For years. This is where you're at for years. You know, we developed practices
No thanks.
To identify combat stress is what it's called. And it's just before someone really starts to break. You know, your soldier's been in the trench too long. He's been out there too long. He's been at the listening observation post for too long. Pull him back.
Right.
Give him some leave. And we do that now. So, and we do that because Vietnam taught us a lot of,
Yeah.
you don't treat people like that.
Well,
you won't.
you insert them for that long, is something's going to give.
Yeah, we need an effective fighting force. And so, when I look at the demons and the monsters, first off, there's a lot of things in Southeast Asia that you don't get to see here in the United States. So if one of these small creatures come running along, you know, he's got horns growing out of his face instead of his head. This is obviously a demon, you know, or I'm hallucinating
Obviously.
something. So, and I imagine, you know, when we talk about our shadow man, it's tough. This is a tough subject
Mine was
for me.
not
So-
sleep paralysis.
Because I don't want to say that it's something otherworldly, but at the same time, I cannot disprove that. You know, I've got sleep paralysis.
For people that don't know, right? So sleep paralysis.
I have-
That's everybody's, oh, you're half sleeping, you were paralyzed, you saw something, blah. Real quick, 30,000 foot Reader's Digest. I wake up. I see the Shadow Man. I mean, he's as tall as the freaking room. And he's holding something. and without seeing a face, but I can see him go like that, like
Yeah, turn
turning
their
and
head.
looking at
Walks
me.
onto you.
Yeah.
And then he goes into the closet. I get up because the whole time I saw him, I wanted to yell, to see
You
if it was
can't.
one of the kids. Couldn't yell, couldn't move. Paralysis, maybe. I get up, grab the 9. I clear the house. No, nothing. I go upstairs. There's Cran sleeping. I'm like, maybe I'm overtired. I'm seeing shit. Sleep, get up, go downstairs, drinking coffee. She comes down. And I'm looking at her, and she looks at me. She goes, "Do you want to talk about it?" And I'm
Oh
like,
no.
"What? Look at." Yeah. I'm like, "What?" She goes, "The thing
Yeah.
at the end of in the room." And I go, "The tall thing?" She's like, and he was holding something, and then he looked at. You saw, like, she saw the same exact thing.
Yeah, that takes 90% of the explanations and throws them out the window.
Yeah.
To which her daughter said, "Well, you just had the same dream." Okay, that's any less weird.
Like it's
right?
any less weird. Yeah, yeah.
So had it just been me, okay.
Would have dismissed it, right?
I
Yep.
had sleep paralysis. I had what?
2 people.
2 people
Yeah.
seeing the exact same thing. And in all of the research that I did, I could not find any accounts of 2 people
Right.
witnessing the same
Yeah.
shadow person.
Yep.
And so,
I mean, I had a similar thing we've talked about. Very similar thing. You go to move, hard to move. It's like hard to move your body, but you're moving.
Right.
You can't say a word, and you're trying to. And it's different than fight or flight. It was completely different because I'm used to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I could see an explanation where, it's just a common thing with the way the human brain is wired that's the kind of thing when you're in that halfway
Right.
state.
Right.
You kinda, but 2 people seeing it at the same time on the same
Yes.
night doesn't
that's why I
fit
am 100% convinced.
Not to
There's something
discount
else
that.
out there.
But if you were to take on the other side of that, if you were to take your average person and put them in the mountains or the forest with just a flashlight after being up for 72 hours
Yeah.
or more, they're gonna be terrified.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
that. They're gonna be like,
Absolutely. Everything.
And
What
you
is
will,
that?
yeah, and you will
It's
start seeing
everything.
things. Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
gonna see stuff that not there.
Yeah.
Your brain tries to fill in the gaps.
It really does.
And
The unexplained. Yep.
yeah, and you're trying to rationalize things when your brain is so overtired it can't rationalize anything.
Right.
So I mean, there's a lot to it. And the story about you and Krantz together, seeing that being is what kind of gives it credit to it being something else other than that. Because even my daughter used to tell me all the time, there's a man living in the closet. And, every parent's got,
Monster
there's a
under the
monster
bed,
under the
right.
bed or in the closet. And so I took the doors off, and she's like, that didn't help it. And I mean,
Yeah.
she's this little girl who's terrified to be in there. Later on, when she was about 16, 17 years old, her and I are talking about this. I'm telling her about my own sleep paralysis experiences. And she's everything that I said, she would fill in the gap. She's like, and he stood here and he did that. Mine would squat.
See, that's unnerving.
And like
So he was Slavic.
or something. It would stand in the corner, and you couldn't look directly at him. If you look directly at them, they vanish.
See, I was looking directly at this
So-
son of a bitch.
Corner of your eye.
Right,
here.
right.
Yep.
But then as a little kid, I would lay there and watch them squat, and just get comfortable. And it was unnerving,
No.
And as a little kid, it's terrifying. But as I'm telling her this, she's like, exactly. That was the monster living in her closet, was the shadow man. So is this some
I'm
sort
here to
of,
tell you, he was in the closet.
it's
He
just,
was there.
He went for the closet.
He
yours-
went into the closet.
Yeah.
maybe there's something about closets.
Yeah.
Portals.
Portals in the closet.
It's a good place to put one because
Yeah,
there's
well,
always
it's
stuff
private.
in there, it's buried in the back. You don't really see stuff back
Well,
there.
you're not going to accidentally stumble through it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of
Where's that portal?
We've got the incident that happened in Florida over New Year's. 1 year. You guys remember that? The mall,
Yes.
everyone
Yeah.
cleared out.
Yes.
And people were like, I swear to God, there were demons coming out of
Yes.
portals right there.
Yeah.
Well, you don't hear about that anymore.
But
You know why?
that was a mass group of people. That wasn't just a few people.
Right.
That was like a big
A
group
lot.
of people.
Hundreds.
And the part that we discussed on the show was it was more than one person who said they were coming out of portals
Yes.
in the room. And of course, law enforcement who responded with how many
trillion.
hundreds
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
law
was
enforcement
ridiculous.
officers. It was insane. You know, they're like,
And then-
oh, it's just a couple kids.
With sticks and fireworks.
Yeah.
yeah.
Really?
No
and you brought
way.
out 300 squad cars for that?
When
I don't think
multiple
so.
people are telling a different story, and there was one individual who jumped on social media, you know, whatever platform it was, and told his story. And I talk about this in the other show, but he was genuinely terrified.
Yeah.
Like watching him tell that story, it was not kids with fireworks and sticks.
Yeah.
This man was terrified. He was terrified telling the story.
I wonder what CERN was doing at that
But,
point.
but there's a lot of people, like Fried Potatoes in chat just said, I believe so many people experience this, but nobody talks about it. I think that's
Yes.
so true.
Totally.
100%.
You're going to be crazy.
Yep.
Or
Or you just don't want the attention.
or
just
you don't want the attention, or you don't want to relive that problem again. I mean, like the corner shadow of your eyes, like the people over there. I remember being young and being like, "Hey, mom, dad, I see some stuff at the corner of my eyes. When I look at them, like they go away." And they're like,
Okay, buddy.
"Hey."
Right?
And I was like, "Well, I guess I'm never talking about that
Yeah.
again."
Well, and you're a
Pee
little
on this
kid.
drug stick.
Have you been visiting that
Yeah.
house at the end of the block we told you to stay away from?
Right.
But I totally get that because I didn't tell anybody about
Right.
these experiences. I told
that's a
no one.
super valid point. How many people, whether it's some sort of an abusive situation,
Yeah.
you see a ghost, you saw a UFO. How many people that were abducted don't talk about it?
Yeah.
They don't want to relive that.
Well,
They don't either. They don't want to relive it, or they rationalize
Yeah.
in their head.
You
That,
second guess yourself.
Man, that was a really vivid dream.
Yeah.
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 But trauma, something like traumatic like that, your brain is going to make up something else. It's
Right.
also going to forget about it,
Right.
right?
Trying
Block
to
it out.
protect you.
It's trying to protect you.
Trying to
Yeah.
protect your psyche. It's going to fill in these
I'll
gaps.
tell you that when every time I tell that freaking story, I can see that bastard standing there, and it makes my hair stand up. I mean, I have never been that scared. I didn't feel like it was there to harm, but I also didn't like it.
Right.
But
you know
there's-
what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's in your room.
Right.
It's like a home invasion kind of situation.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, totally uncomfortable.
It's probably good I couldn't move because
Yeah.
I would have had a new air conditioner. I was going to say. Just unload.
Why is there a skylight in the
Yeah.
living room?
But there's a lot of people that abuse a certain antihistamine for a sleep aid, and they use it over and over and over. And after they've used it for so long, they report online people seeing the Hat Man. They're like, "Oh, I've used this for too long. I owe the Hat Man.
Oh, interesting.
wow.
The Hat
Really?
Man has come to collect."
Oh.
Interesting. Interesting.
It's a very common over-the-counter
I would like to know, though,
antihistamine.
and maybe if people are on live, if you've seen the Hat Man, so like, did your shadow person have something?
Not to my memory. There's some stories I'm not sharing here because as I got older, this individual's involvement in my life did involve some sort of movement. And for the longest time, I carried this around, kind of like our viewer was talking about. I didn't tell anybody about this because I thought, okay, well, it's just, I'm crazy.
Right.
And
Because-
that's why people don't want to
yeah.
come forward and discuss.
Yeah, or in one instance, I jumped at him, whoever it is. I jumped at him, screaming like, war berserker. Blah, just
Right.
went for it, believing that it was a home invader. But in reality, I woke up in my bed, and it was the yelling that woke me up.
Oh, yeah.
But I wasn't yelling. I made a sound that was like a little coo. It's just like,
Yeah.
and that's what I woke
Terrifying.
up doing. And opened my eyes, and then I could move. So then I moved, checked the foot of my bed, checked on my wife, checked the entire apartment just like you, cleared the whole place, went back to bed and thought that was a terrible nightmare. Again, didn't talk about it for a long time until, oddly enough, a conversation came up with a former captain of mine, and she started doing the same thing that my daughter did, where she's like, have you experienced that? Have you experienced this? And we were both suddenly kind of, our gobs were smacked because we were like, what is going on here?
Right.
So at the time, I was living in a university city. So I went to the university to figure this out. And there was an individual there who was happy to talk to me about it and basically taught me what sleep paralysis is. Now, this is the scientific medical explanation for all of this stuff.
Right.
Since I've learned that, I do still wake up unable to move, terrified, but now I've got this scientific explanation behind it. My mind instantly goes there. Oh, it's just sleep paralysis.
You're able to consciously figure it out.
I figure it out. I close my eyes. I go back to sleep. I don't look around the room.
Oh, when I wake up at night now, I never open my eyes. Ever.
Because what am I going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, there's this fear I think we all have, that you wake up and the invader's standing right there.
No,
we
of
all
course.
have
Yeah,
that,
it's
right?
every scary movie.
It's terrifying. So it's whether or not I can sit here and throw a medical or a scientific explanation on top of it, it's not going to remove that fear when I look at the end of my bed
So
or
you're
I look
better
at the
off
corner
just not knowing.
And
So
there's
I'm
this
better
tall,
off,
slender,
and he's standing there.
dark.
I mean,
dark,
kids do the
dark.
same thing. Blankets over their
Blankets
head.
over the head.
I'm
Yeah.
not looking. I don't want to know.
Because you know what? Blankets are highly protected.
Yes.
It's the same thing as the shirt filter for a fart. It always
I'm going
protects
to
you.
tell you right now, though, to a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old, that blanket is better than armor.
It's
You know what
mithril
I mean?
armor
To
to
a
them.
50-year-old. It ain't bad.
It is plate steel, baby. It is plate steel.
I will tell you, though, I've never had it again. I've never had where I couldn't move, couldn't speak, couldn't anything. Waking up.
So mine is similar to yours. I was pretty young, and my bed was kind of in the basement, and I had these kind of small windows up top, and I'm just kind of looking out the window. My parents were in the next room over watching like Saturday Night Live or something like that. I'm in school. I'm supposed to be sleeping, right? And laying there, this thing comes down, and I just thought it was like a neighbor. I'm like, oh, the neighbor's walking at night in the backyard or something like that. And whatever Hat Man looks in the window. I'm terrified. I'm gonna go.
No.
I go to like
That's
call
a big
for my
no-no
mom,
for
and
me,
I was
too.
like, and I was like, I couldn't say anything, but I was fully conscious of everything. And I'm like, am I dreaming? And I was like, no, I'm not dreaming. Went to go get out of bed, and it was really hard to move, but I could move.
Yeah.
Hat Man's in front of me, comes over and touches me like
No.
Whoa.
top of the head.
You felt it?
Yes.
Wow.
Now, this is the strange part, revealing some parts here. Fast forward to today. I have a small 5 millimeter nodule in my pituitary gland.
What?
Unaffected.
Are you serious?
Actually, this Saturday, I have an MRI for it. They check it every once in a while. Once a year, I get it checked. Hasn't grown, hasn't done anything. Bananas.
What
So
if-
I always go back to that.
marked by the shadow, man.
If it was a dream, if it was whatever, what was it?
Was it a healing?
If it was a dream, him touching me right where the pituitary gland is, now knowing this as adult, they just happened to find that one day for a different scan. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Dude.
Super
That's incredible.
creepy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So when there was a interview, and I wish I had more information to reference this, because that's one big thing for me. When we were doing the 3-Eye Atlas show, we talked about how, all the stories that are coming forward and all this stuff. And I don't want to get into 3-Eye Atlas, but what I am saying is there's so much misinformation out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
Oh, yeah.
insane.
People are hyping it up.
Oh, it's
big time.
Yeah, it's really hard to filter through some of this
Scary.
stuff. Yeah.
But people are just making up stuff that's
Yeah.
not even from anything.
That has no sources
We
whatsoever.
were talking about, they're like, oh, we can see the nanoparticle chip motherboard
Yeah.
stuff flying off.
Yeah.
We don't even have the satellite technology to barely see this thing. I saw one earlier. It was like, it looked like a long neck dinosaur riding on the back of this thing. And I'm like, they're like, scientists don't know how to explain the dinosaur on 3-Eye. I'm like,
It's become
Sinclair
weekly world.
returns to Earth.
Well, I think there's some of that about those contact lenses too. Because
Yeah.
I was trying to find some more verification on some of that stuff, and I really, I think it's just made up.
But see, and what's the
No,
explanation?
they're real. The contact
Well, the contact lenses are real, but some of the things that they say they're seeing, I think, have been greatly exaggerated.
And what's the explanation, right?
Yeah.
From like part of the community is
that's why I want to get my hands on something.
they jump up and they say, well, they're
don't.
covering it up.
Right.
It's all this
Exactly,
big
yeah,
cover
yeah,
up. They
yeah.
would never tell you that. They're trying to sell these things. Okay,
Right.
well, if they're trying to sell these things, how could you cover it up?
Yeah. Well,
Well,
I
see,
mean,
they're not trying to sell these.
they're
things.
still in development.
They're not on the market
Yeah.
yet because they got to figure out how to make it not demon.
you got to get those
filtered.
bugs out of it first.
You're right.
Yeah, got to get the demons out of it.
Put piss on it.
Yep.
That goes back to a whole different thing. That's the Paranormal Investigation Society of Sheridan. That's
right.
Which we are now officially.
Officially.
And so that's our tagline. Got ghosts? Put
Yeah.
piss on it.
We're on it.
Going back to Three Eye Atlas, there are some crazy things about it, but there's just it's hard to filter it out online now.
You know,
but is
and-
that on purpose?
No,
are they
and
trying to hide something happening?
Sitting there with your computer and you're trying to find the good information, you go to NASA, and we all know that NASA doesn't exactly tell us the truth.
No, they
all the
cut
time.
and paste clouds.
So it's
And
so
now everything
hard,
is shut
you
down.
know, like
Yeah, now it's shut
when
down.
you can't trust the ones who are in that position, where do you go? You know, now you got to work on speculation. Now you got to work on all these different people that are, just throwing out crazy theories instead of
Right.
any kind of evidence. Like they're talking about how it's slowed down. Well, it's not slowing down, and this is according to NASA. It's not slowing down in any unusual way. It's behaving very much like a comet. But if you find any
Which
other
you
source,
would do.
well,
If you're
exactly, yeah.
aliens.
well, now
However, it is coming on the ecliptical plane, so all the planets go like this, and most comets and asteroids, meteors, stuff like that, come in at these random angles.
Yeah, it's like
This
a
is-
fly-through,
This
right?
is coming in right
Between
on the sphere
Less than 5 degrees.
Well,
at
it's
the
like-
same time as Swan.
It's the if you were landing
want
an
to.
airplane, it's your approach angle.
Yes.
That's
100%.
that's your
They come around the sun.
Here's the thing, though. Three Eye Atlas and Swan R2 are going to meet almost at the exact moment at the perihelion, which is behind the sun.
behind the sun.
Where we
on the
wouldn't see
same
what
day.
happened.
Which we won't see
Well,
what's
and-
happening.
you and I were talking about this. What if it's just two aliens who were like, let's go meet over by that little blue ball?
Like,
you
They
know,
pull up,
we'll
roll
just
down
meet
the
up.
windows. Hey, what's going on?
Yeah,
Haven't seen
or
you
it's
in
a
about a billion
refuel
years.
or something, and we wouldn't even know, and then to us, they're like, well, that was weird. They were back there for a little bit, but now they're passing us by.
Or they're like, we'll take the northern hemisphere. You take the south.
I'm going to say this again. If it's an alien ship, okay, if it's anything alien, whether it be a probe or anything else, I think the scarier thing for me
Yeah, we talked about this
would
yesterday.
be if it just stopped.
Right.
It just kind of like pulls around the sun and just hangs out.
And then it doesn't show up again.
I'm going to be watching. So when it comes around the sun and it's supposed to exit and keep on going, if it's not keep on going,
Right.
I'm going to be like,
Or even if it pauses.
yeah.
We showed that video of something that was next to the sun, and it looked like it was soaking
Yeah.
up plasma.
Yes.
Now, scientists have come forward and debunked this video, but you can find it online. It looks like
you can
a
find
planet.
it in our video
Yeah, it looks like a planet-sized object next to the sun
with like an umbilical cordish looking thing.
of plasma. Sucking
plasma.
plasma out of our sun, and then when it leaves, it seems to kick, and the sun and the flames
Reacts.
around it actually react to
Yep.
this.
Our sun is in a higher period, but since these have entered, we're now in a higher period of activity.
So when this happens, let's just, you know how I love coincidence, right? There is no freaking such thing. Let's call all the generals and admirals together and have a very publicized meeting, and then let's have a meeting that isn't publicized. Let's have the government shut down.
Yep.
Let's have NASA shut down.
Yep.
We are-
Non-essential workers.
Non-essential workers. We are at the peak of a 20-year solar cycle. Both these things are coming in to meet up behind the sun.
The solar flare hit 3i Atlas.
Yes.
Okay.
And we've got all this miscommunication.
What if it is just like a refuel? They're like, look, by the time you get here,
And it
if you-
happens on Halloween.
Yeah. If you kick it in the butt, you'll reach the sun at the point where it's at its height. You can suck some plasma and you can continue your 40-year mission or whatever. You can continue on.
Yeah.
Meet us back there. We'll resupply your little mini ship and we'll call it good. And I don't care what the little monsters on that blue ball are feeling.
Yeah,
They're pretty angry people.
Yeah, they're very
Well,
angry people.
well, that raises the question: why use this star then? There's others out there that you could probably use to refuel that
Because
are
we're like,
less.
our calculations were off. We got to stop it.
Or it's like if you really have to go, you can stop at that little blue planet and do whatever you,
You
got
gotta
to do.
stop
Or they're
at
coming
the
back to check
ghetto
on
of
us. They're
the
like,
universe.
hey, we put them there a long time ago.
Yeah.
Let's pull up on the other side. Let's talk about it. Let's examine what's going on.
It's
then.
that
Let's
rest
get out
stop.
of here.
Is overgrown by all the creatures that live on there,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's still.
They
okay.
roll up the
We've
windows
all-
and lock the doors when
But
they come
we've
by. Earth.
all had that moment where we're driving and we're like, crap, I have to stop.
Yes.
here
Yeah.
and get
Yep.
gas.
And then
Yes.
like the only rest stop is this one.
Yeah.
Gotta
You're
go.
on the
coming in
last
with me.
little bar, right? You're just praying that little bar doesn't disappear. And you're going to pull up and you're going to hit that gas station and boy, he better be open. We've all been there.
We've all been there. And is it that? Because, okay, this was mind-blowing. If you can trust anything that they say. So 3i Atlas, right? 33 million pounds, roughly, they're talking about. R2 Swan, 100 times bigger.
Billion pounds.
3.3 billion pounds. That's big.
And moving very fast.
With the coma around it, right? It's estimated to be 5 full moons. Nibiru?
I mean,
Yeah.
we've been talking about it.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Planet X.
Planet X. Maybe Planet X isn't a planet,
Yeah. Maybe it's a ship.
a ship. I don't know. Then you get into things like the Black Knight satellite that's been up there for God knows how long. Ever.
And nobody wants to
And
touch it.
nobody will touch it.
And we are on the cusp, and maybe even surpassed it for all we know, of developing an artificial sentient intelligence.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe they're like, huh, those humans, they're doing
Yeah.
that
Well,
AI thing.
You know, when did like a lot of the sightings really begin?
Yeah.
When we cracked that atom, baby.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
figured out how to crack the atom. And then all of a sudden these sightings and everything. I mean, my God, people don't talk about it today, but UFOs over the top of Washington, D.C.
Over the Capitol building.
Over the
On
Capitol.
the front page of the newspaper.
And nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
Okay, there were probably discussions there,
Because you're crazy.
You're right.
right?
Get your tinfoil hat, Floyd.
It's gotten to the point where I don't know. Every time I get a little faith in humanity, we always kick ourselves in the balls. But it's just to the point where enough of us are starting to say, you can't hide it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, and
it's in Congress.
Just be
that's
truthful
the thing, though,
about
is
it.
when. Okay, so because you're on the cusp of technology all the time, we talked about ChatGPT
And AI.
6 months before it ever hit mainstream news sources, right?
And by the time we were even talking about it, Frost had been playing with it for how long?
for a month
month. Yeah.
or two,
Couple months, yeah.
it hits the mainstream media, and everybody's like, "Huh, this is amazing!"
But hold on.
Well,
Remember when you saw that stealth bomber?
Yeah.
And you're like, this is the coolest cutting edge technology. And they're like, oh, that was 10 years ago.
yeah, that's what this is.
This has been around for a while.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This has been around forever.
We're
all you gotta-
finally just getting to play with it.
all you got to do is look at a certain large company who works
Yeah.
exclusively for the United States government and is named after something very Tolkien because it's a seeing stone.
Yeah.
You know,
But when-
human beings are predictable animals.
right?
And
when
we have
those
amnesia.
things
Yeah, a
hit
lot.
mainstream media, it's done.
It's old. It's old.
Now, I'm sitting yesterday morning having coffee on a major news network. Comes on, it's like 3i Atlas, alien technology. I'm like, oh no, oh man, like
Yep.
They're putting it out there.
So that chapter's closed.
Yep.
They already know what
So
it is.
let's say it is
Predictive programming.
Nibiru. There's no way we can begin to guess, assume, speculate about what they would do if they arrived and they're like, whoa, those little things that we developed to build, to mine gold.
Mine the
Right.
goal, yeah.
Holy crap, look at these little guys. How many times have you started a Sims or a simulation, walked away from it, came back, and it's like 8 times
Yeah,
bigger?
you're like, that was
What have I created?
that was the plan.
That went off the rails.
That was supposed to be a little community, and now it's it's
Johnny's burning down the neighborhood.
yeah,
Let's go ahead and just hit that reset button.
exactly. It would be an interesting time to be alive.
There's that. It's an old TikTok, but there's this guy who's like God or aliens or something like that, and it's like, oh look, the humans they made fire. Oh, they're killing each other with it.
Yeah.
Oh, they made they split the atom.
Oh,
Oh, they're
they're-
killing each other with it.
Yeah.
Maybe aliens are like, oh my gosh, what did we do?
See, the thing of it is, though, for me, if we do have something, alien DNA combined with the whatever primate that they chose to do this with, let's say that this really
Let's go
happened.
reptilian.
Well, we don't have any reptilian characteristics.
Some of us do.
Yes.
Some of us do.
What we do have is primate, tribal
Very much so,
Right.
yes.
characteristics in us, and we retain those no matter how quote unquote evolved we have gotten. For some reason, as soon as I raise a flag, I'll have followers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just got to point around and say my flag's different than your flag, and my flag is better, and we're all about it, right? We
Or the war of
love that.
species.
What would they be like? Did we get that from the primitive ape
Right.
that they decided to alter, or did that come from them?
They're like, you guys are still fighting each other.
So are they going to be that way?
Yeah, or they're going
If-
to be, yes, keep going.
where they're
Right.
like, conflict creates strength.
Yeah.
If you don't have conflict, you do not have strength, because you don't have to change, you don't have to evolve. And you guys are a dime a dozen. So continue doing whatever it is that you're doing and just get stronger. Your technology advances.
Keep on getting that gold out of the
Keep
ground.
on getting that gold out of
They're
there.
going to be pissed because they're going to show up and be like, where's the piles of gold?
Yeah.
I didn't tell you to make
Yeah.
jewelry
One
out of
job.
it.
Why are you wearing that ring?
Yeah, right, exactly.
That belongs to me.
Yeah. We're getting platinum and stuff now.
It's just, I don't, there's nobody who could guess or speculate what would happen. They could show up and just be like, okay, I'm not going to deal with this. Because they're already
Hey, the apes have nukes now.
Yeah, not only that, but they're starting to look
weren't
at
supposed to do that.
other areas
Yeah.
in the neighborhood that they're thinking they could go to.
Yeah.
I do not want to be dealing with these things in 10,000 years.
Yeah.
So just wipe the slate clean.
Pole shift.
Maybe.
Yeah. But then again, how much damage can we do? I mean, we can not even get out of the solar system. So even if we just completely obliterated everything in the solar system, what does that matter?
Well, you got
AI can get off the planet.
Maybe,
And
yeah.
that's a threat to the universe.
Yeah.
You got to look at dark forest theory, where someone stepped forward once and said, look, as a planet, you are way too loud. We need to calm it down, because if there is an intergalactic force out there, how many of us have they just been like, no, I'm not dealing with it.
Right.
Done. I hit the button. It's over. Not enslavement, not alteration, not conquering. What the hell would they care?
Right.
You have nothing that could benefit me or my society at this point. I am a 3rd or 4th level society. You're 0.
Especially when the deer, the animals, the oceans would be far better off
And they
without the
would.
humans.
And they would.
Yeah.
I hate to
AI
say
is
it,
like
but
this
they
far
would.
away from making that decision.
Yeah.
Right.
Skynet right there.
Yep.
I mean,
Terminator.
it's, a lot of people like talking about Skynet and the way that it, quote unquote, conquered the world in that James Cameron's, developing story. And that's great, because it gives us something to fight against. But I don't think that's the way that an AI would actually do it. An AI would
They wouldn't
just
have to do it
no,
that way.
No,
No.
it would do it in a
And
much
Terminators with lasers don't miss.
no, and not just that, but how many resources do I have to use to get rid of you? I don't have to do that.
Nope.
I just got to make a pathogen. Now I'm
Right,
done.
yeah.
Now I'm
Done.
done.
We've kind of seen that.
Yeah.
But it's like, you see what I'm saying? It's about efficiency, not the adventure of it. And so, what would the Anunnaki do? What would the
I
Anunnaki
honestly don't
say
think
to
that
us?
they'd bother with us. I really don't.
At the level of their society, why bother with us?
It's not worth your
They're probably
time.
coming to check on the moon. Honestly,
They want it back.
They want it back.
Yeah, because they parked it there and they want to see how it's doing.
They're like, you guys haven't taken care of this thing at all.
No, it's rusting.
Look at it. We want it back.
It looks like crap up there, man.
Yeah. And you left a bunch of junk behind when you went there.
Right.
Yeah.
You got
Like we
crap
always
all
do.
over it.
Yep.
We always do. Okay, one last seeing other things. Okay. SLS camera,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Okay, so structured light sensor camera. Basically, it's Microsoft Kinect technology that ghost hunters use,
Yeah.
Okay.
right? So it was developed to track players' body movement. Ghost hunters quickly realized that it maps figures that can't necessarily be seen with the naked eye or in super dark rooms. Essentially, a 3D depth sensor combined with software that looks like human-like stick figure shapes. Grid bounces off objects in the room. Sensor picks it up, puts it into a dot pattern, and when it's distorted and comes back, you see the figure moving, right? So
It's like that stick figure guy is always dancing off in the background, right? Is that
Right.
the one you're talking about?
this dude right here. So
Yeah.
that is just, is that somebody in the graveyard?
No.
I think it's technological. What do you call it? Pareidolia?
Pareidolia?
It's keying in on the tree in the background. and
So
the
here's,
branches.
Here's the
and-
crazy thing, though, is I mess around with this thing all the time. So we're at the Irma Hotel in Cody. So like Buffalo Bill's hotel.
Yeah.
Famous. Old. Upstairs. And I'm like, I got to break out the camera, right? So break out the camera. I'm scanning around. And yeah, you get some of those little weird flashy things. Where it gets extra creepy, though, is I look down this long hallway and there's not really anything going on down there. And out of a door comes the stick figure guy. And I mean, he's small because he's further away. He gets bigger and goes into another door
Ooh, yeah.
and just disappears.
Yeah, see, that's interesting because I can see like it flashing like a little mistake, like it sees a pattern on the
Right.
wall and
Because
thinks
it's
something like-
trying, right?
Yeah,
it's
'cause
really
it's
working.
trying.
But for it to actually make a logical movement like that,
So in that, there are dozens of locations from Kansas's Sally House to Nevada's Goldfield Hotel where structured light SLS cameras have recorded human-shaped stick figures like the one we saw in empty rooms or shapes that sometimes appear to respond either to questions or make gestures.
My thing,
When it's more structured like that,
Yeah.
where it's like absence of seeing someone there, something made intelligent movement.
yeah, that's a
Wow.
little bit.
I don't know how to explain that.
But again, it could also be like they take Tesla's autopilot into a graveyard and it detects all these people walking around. It's just looking at the headstones and misinterpreting
I think
that.
it's
Or
ghosts.
is it?
I just,
Or is
I,
it?
Or is it
It
ghosts?
might have red phosphorus infrared on it.
Well, the virtual boy was red too, right? So maybe you could see.
I'm
I
some-
was seeing stuff after I took that off my face.
I'm with Sisson on this one. I think technology is designed to do something, and it's going to do its best to do that job for you. And it's going to reach out, and it's going to guess, and it's going to assume, and it's just going to kind of grab at anything. You know, on the other side, if there are ghosts in that hotel, could you imagine that being your forever?
Yeah.
Just wandering from
Just
room to room.
wandering from room to room.
I mean, there
to
are
room.
I would
places,
scare the
but-
crap out of people.
Dude, that's
yeah, totally.
Of course, I'm going to be a terrifying presence. I'm bored.
Right.
Yeah.
This is my forever.
Play that stick figure video again, because I think in that one it's looking at the tree behind the.
Whoop.
Yeah, that one. I think it's Look at the tree in the background.
Yeah,
it's
it's
picking
trying
up
to
on the
grab
tree.
that
Yeah.
as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in a hotel,
Looks like a techno rave.
Yeah, it does.
in a hotel though, with a hallway, unless there's like patterns on the wall, there's nothing for
Right.
it to do.
Let's
that
go
with.
to the actual footage of a real ghost. No.
Nice, nice.
That is cool though.
It is
See,
cool.
now if I was in a room and I saw that, then I'd be like, we got an issue.
So here's the weird thing was it wasn't like this. It was more like the techno dance guy in the graveyard. But how he is approaching and turning, I mean, that's what the thing at the hotel did.
Yeah.
So I tried to get AI to do that, and it failed miserably. But
Well,
it's
I'll tell you, if there are ghosts, I'm not scared of them. I just feel sorry for them. Like,
yeah, because they always seem to be kind of locked into a specific
Yeah.
place
Yeah.
for eternity.
one day I want someone to talk about seeing a ghost. He's some Chad with his hat on backwards. He's wearing an old wife beater shirt. His pants are 10 times too big, and he's got like LA gear on. And they're like, "Oh, he's everywhere." You know, I want to see that.
yeah, it's always period pieces. He had a bowler hat.
Yeah, exactly. You know, or like apparently sometime between 1800 and 1925, ghosts just, you know, these souls or spirits or whatever you want to call them just decided to stick around.
Yeah.
Why are they in clothing at all?
Yeah. Good question.
Yeah, what's
It'd be terrifying
why
if
can't
you
we
saw
just
them
see
all
the-
naked.
Well,
Yeah. Well, and you often get buried in your best
True.
suit,
I
right?
suppose.
So maybe.
maybe
know.
that's why. Maybe there's nobody being buried in their Chad clothes.
Yeah, the zombie apocalypse will be a very formal event.
There was once an interview that someone allegedly had with an alien, a gray. In that interview, the interviewer asked, "Well, what are you doing here? Where did you come from?" And the interview is very scratchy. And again, you can't trust every source. You can't trust almost any source now. But the alien said, "We come from here."
Yeah, under the ocean.
No,
Yes.
different dimension.
Ooh.
Okay.
I like
Now,
that too.
the interviewer said, "Well, why did you choose ours?" And the alien said, "Because yours is stable. There are a lot of dimensions that are not stable.
Yeah.
They've fallen apart. You know, something that occurred here and in ours didn't occur in them, and so they rarely find." Excuse me, stable dimensions. And when they do find one, they remember it. So it's like walking through,
like pin that.
well,
Drop a location
yeah,
on that one.
drop a pin on that one.
Yeah.
Exactly. Where it's like, okay, well, what's going on there? What are the physics of that? What are the rules that these things have to live by? And are they different from ours?
Right.
You know, element 115 makes us fly. For them, they can't even keep it together.
Right.
They can't even form a solid piece. I mean, who knows? So for me, with, you know, the testimonies of that are happening at Congress, hell, even a congresswoman going on podcasts talking about it, my idea of aliens and where they're from no longer stretches beyond my solar system. For me, it stretches beyond my dimension.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
maybe the Shadow Man
Yep.
is from another dimension and he doesn't even know, or maybe that's just what these life forms do. They're explorers. They go and for some reason they're like, you know, did you go watch someone sleep tonight? I went and watch someone sleep. You know, like
Right.
maybe they get a kick out of that somehow. Who knows? Or maybe they're feeding on dreams.
Observers.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, could be scientists. for
I'll
all
tell
we
you this though, if I could find something reputable, whether it's those contact lenses or whatever, I would try them.
I'd give it a shot. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
bet.
why not?
Not me.
No.
No.
You know, the thing about it is, if you could know the truth, would you want to?
Right.
Depends.
Right.
It depends on what the truth is.
If
You're
you
like-
knew that there were demons or monsters or shadow figures or whatever walking around us all the time, you knew it just like you know that the sun is going to come up tomorrow. Would you want to know that? You're never, ever alone.
I can say I'm pretty happy right now not knowing it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like all these whistleblowers, man. It's
I guess it would be a little off-putting if, like, you're walking into your bedroom to go to bed, and you're like, "Excuse me,
Yeah, right.
just trying to get in bed, man."
Yeah.
You know, and
Can
there's
we
like
take
just
this to a different room somewhere?
20 people standing around like,
Yeah, just watching you
Go
brush
to
your
sleep.
teeth. Yeah, you're just standing there. You're like, hey. So I do this every night.
they're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, we know." We also know what else you do.
No, they'd look at you and one would be like, every night.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I just want to let everyone know that if you're in chat live watching this right now, or if not, if you're watching this afterwards, please subscribe to Jackalope's Explorer. They have great stuff. Go back, watch some of their older stuff. These guys are great, and all the stuff they do. If you are watching this live, we will be on Static Shift tonight. Thank you for having me on. We'll be on live tonight.
Thank you
from
for
the
having me
studio,
on. Yeah.
and we'll be talking about some more Atlas things and
More
whatever
sketchy stuff.
whatever comes to mind.
All
Or
right.
whatever people want to talk about.
Yeah.
Frost, I greatly appreciate you joining the show today.
Thank
This was our first big live, and I hope you enjoyed it. You've been watching
subscribe.
Jackalope's Explore.
I need paper. I need papers to do this with.
Close the,
Yeah, wait,
uh,
here.